Be honest with yourself for a second. How many nights have you woken up at 3 or 5 a.m., staring at the ceiling, feeling something you can't explain? The world around you is silent, but inside, it's like something is pulling you, like a force that won't let you sleep. You tell yourself it's stress, bad habits, or maybe just your body acting strangely, and sure, that might be part of it. But deep down, you know that's not the truth. Because if this was just about sleep, why does it always happen at the same time? Why does it feel less like an accident and more like a pattern? Why is it always you, chosen one? Here's what no one tells you. Waking up at these hours is not insomnia. It's not just your mind playing tricks on you. It's something much bigger. A message, a sign, a shift happening inside you. And once you understand why this is happening, you will never see your sleepless nights the same way again. Are you ready to wake up for real? I'd like to ask you to subscribe to our channel. Thank you. You wake up again 3 a.m., maybe 5 a.m. The world outside is still, wrapped in silence, but inside your mind, there's movement, thoughts racing, an uneasiness you can't explain. You roll over, try to push away the restlessness, force yourself back into sleep. But something won't let you. And deep down, you feel it. This isn't just a bad night's sleep. It's something more. Something you can't ignore. At first, you assume it's stress, anxiety, or maybe your body adjusting to a new rhythm. But then it happens again, and again, night after night, always within the same window of time. The clock taunts you, 3:33 a.m., 4:15 a.m., 5 a.m. The pattern is too strong to be random. And the more you resist, the stronger it pulls at you. It's like something is trying to get your attention. But what? And why now? Most people sleep through the night without disruption. Their minds stay closed, locked away from the unseen. But you, chosen one, you are different. You sense things before others do. You feel shifts in energy that most would never notice. And waking up at this precise hour? It's not just insomnia. It's an invitation. A message waiting to be received. The question is, are you listening? For centuries, spiritual traditions have recognized this specific time, between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., as sacred. It's the space between worlds, where the veil between the physical and spiritual is at its thinnest. Ancient texts speak of divine revelations coming in the stillness of night, moments when the universe whispers its deepest secrets. Some call it the witching hour. Others call it the hour of God. But for the spiritually attuned, it's the moment when messages arrive, when truth is revealed. Yet, most people dismiss it. They reach for their phones, drown out the quiet with distractions, or tell themselves it's just bad luck. They ignore the call. And in doing so, they miss out on something powerful: guidance, clarity, transformation. But not you. If you're waking up at these hours, it's because you're meant to be awake. There is something stirring within you, an awakening that cannot be silenced. Maybe you feel it already, the way your intuition has sharpened, the way your dreams have become more vivid, more intense. Perhaps you've even noticed patterns, numbers, symbols appearing throughout your day. Coincidences that seem too perfectly timed to be accidents. These aren't just random occurrences. They are signals, pieces of a puzzle that, once put together, will reveal something life-changing. Think back. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night with a sudden realization, a burst of clarity, an idea so strong it demanded your attention? Have you ever felt a presence in the room, a warmth in your chest, a sense that something unseen was guiding you? That's not just imagination. That's communication. And if you're ignoring it, you're silencing a message meant specifically for you. The universe doesn't waste its energy. It doesn't send messages to those who won't receive them. If you're waking up, it's because there is something within you that is ready. Ready to grow, to evolve, to step into something greater. But before you can fully understand why this is happening, you need to know what's behind it. What forces are at play? What is being activated inside of you? And why now? Your body operates on a deep internal clock, one that is connected not just to your physical cycles, but to energetic shifts around you. When you wake up in the dead of night, it's because something is triggering this internal system, something beyond just physical restlessness. It could be spiritual energy moving through you, a message trying to break through your subconscious, or even a disruption caused by unseen forces trying to prevent you from stepping into your full power. Some of the most enlightened figures in history, prophets, mystics, visionaries, have spoken of their most profound revelations arriving in the silent hours before dawn. This is the time when intuition is strongest, when the mind is quiet enough to finally hear what's been whispered to you all along. But if you don't recognize it for what it is, you risk missing out on something life-changing. If you've ever felt like there's more to your waking hours than just sleepless frustration, you're right. And now it's time to dig deeper, because ignoring it will only make the unrest stronger. The signs will keep coming until you finally understand. This is not just about sleep, it's about awakening. It's about recognizing that your soul is calling for something more, and it won't let you rest until you listen. And that's what we're about to uncover. Because what if I told you that your sleepless nights aren't a problem to be solved, but a gift to be understood? That what feels like a disruption is actually a key, a doorway to something greater than you've ever imagined? The moment you stop fighting against it and start paying attention, everything shifts. Now we'll dive into the deeper meaning behind these awakenings, why they happen, what they mean, and how you can finally decode the messages that have been waiting for you all along. Before continuing with our spiritual evolution, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Every night, at the same time, you find yourself awake between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. It's frustrating, confusing, and you can't shake the feeling that this is more than just a bad sleep cycle. And you're right. By now, you've felt it. It's happening for a reason. But why? If you are consistently waking up at these hours, it's because something or someone is trying to get your attention. But why this time? What is so significant about these early morning hours? The answer goes beyond science, beyond routine, beyond anything logical. This is about energy, about connection, about a shift happening within you. You've heard the myths. The witching hour, the hour of divine communication. But what if these weren't just legends? What if waking up at this time means you are being called right now? This is the time when messages are most easily received, when divine forces, guardian angels, and even ancestral spirits attempt to reach those who are open enough to hear. And if you are waking up, it means your soul is attuned to something bigger than yourself. Ancient traditions have long recognized this window as sacred. Some call it the witching hour, a time when spiritual forces, both good and bad, are most active. Others call it the hour of divine communication, when celestial beings send guidance, warnings, and insight. Religious texts and spiritual doctrines around the world reference this specific time frame as a period of revelation. The question is, why you? Were you meant to receive? Most people never notice. They sleep through the signs, blind to the messages waiting for them. But you're awake, and that changes everything. You are waking up because your consciousness is evolving. Your soul is tuning into something that is not meant for everyone, and this is why you cannot ignore it. The moment you start paying attention, the more clarity you will gain. Have you ever noticed what you feel when you wake up? Sometimes it's unease, a sensation that something is shifting. Other times, it's an unexplainable sense of knowing, as if your mind suddenly understands things it didn't before. Some people wake up from intense dreams, visions that seem too real to be fiction. Others feel the presence of something unseen, a force they can't describe, but know is there. These are not coincidences. If you wake up with anxiety, it could be a warning. If you wake up with clarity, it could be a message. If you wake up and feel watched, it could be a sign that unseen energies are surrounding you. The key is to understand what your body, your mind, and your soul are trying to tell you. Because ignoring it will not make it go away. If anything, the messages will only get louder. Many chosen ones report waking up at 3:33 a.m., a time linked to divine alignment, signaling that you are being watched over, protected, and guided. Others wake up closer to 5 a.m., the hour of transition, when new paths are being revealed. Regardless of the exact time, the meaning remains the same. Something is shifting within you. And the more aware you become, the more power you will have over these awakenings. But here's what most people don't understand. These wake-ups are not meant to frustrate you. They are meant to awaken you, to open your eyes to a reality beyond the physical. If you keep dismissing them, you are dismissing something that could completely change the course of your life. The energy in these hours is guiding you towards something. But are you willing to listen? What if you stopped seeing these moments as interruptions and started seeing them as invitations? What if, instead of rolling over in frustration, you got up and asked, "What am I meant to receive?" What if these wake-ups were preparing you for something bigger, something your soul has been waiting for? There's a reason why these wake-ups happen more frequently at certain points in your life. You may notice that they become more common during periods of transition, deep personal growth, or when you are on the verge of a breakthrough. Your subconscious knows it before your conscious mind does. That's why it won't let you rest. Think back. Has your life felt different lately? Have you been questioning things more, sensing changes within yourself that you can't quite explain? That's no accident. Waking up at these hours means you are in the middle of an energetic shift. And if you don't understand how to navigate it, it can leave you feeling restless, confused, and even drained. The world around you isn't the same anymore. Everything is moving faster, energy is shifting, and more people are awakening than ever before. If you are experiencing these late-night awakenings, it means you are ahead of the curve. You are feeling what most people won't notice until much later. But what does this mean for you specifically? Because while this experience is common among chosen ones, it's not random. It's happening to you now, at this moment, for a reason. The energy you are feeling is not just a personal transformation, it is a cosmic one. Something beyond your understanding is shifting. And if you don't learn how to align with it, you may find yourself overwhelmed, stuck in patterns of exhaustion and confusion. So the real question is, what do you do with this awareness? How do you turn this from an inconvenience into something powerful? We will go deeper into the cosmic forces at play, uncovering why this is happening at this specific point in time, what spiritual signals are influencing your sleepless nights, and how you can take control of this awakening instead of feeling powerless against it. While you've been questioning why this keeps happening, the real question you should be asking is, why now? Why are you feeling this more intensely at this moment in your life? Because this isn't just about you. It's about something bigger, something cosmic. The Earth's energy is shifting. The frequency of the planet itself is rising, and those who are spiritually attuned, like you, are feeling it first. Have you noticed how the world around you seems different lately? How time feels like it's speeding up? How you're becoming more aware of things that others don't seem to notice? This is the result of energetic shifts that are happening on a planetary scale. And if you're waking up at these specific hours, it means your soul is picking up on these changes before most people even realize they're happening. Everything in the universe is energy. The sun, the moon, the stars, they all influence the way we feel, think, and experience reality. You may not have realized it, but cosmic events such as full moons, eclipses, and planetary alignments have a direct impact on your body, your emotions, and your sleep patterns. During these events, the energy in the atmosphere intensifies, making it harder for those who are spiritually sensitive to rest. Instead of feeling tired, you feel restless. Instead of sleeping deeply, you wake up, unable to explain why. Throughout history, ancient civilizations understood the significance of cosmic energy. They built monuments aligned with celestial bodies, knowing that these alignments held power. They tracked the movements of the planets, recognizing that shifts in the cosmos directly affected human consciousness. And now, in this time of great awakening, those same forces are at work again, only now you are one of the few who can feel it. Have you noticed that your thoughts are clearer during these wake-ups? That you suddenly recall things from your past, have unexpected realizations, or feel a deep sense of knowing? This is because at these hours, the logical mind is at rest and the subconscious is fully active. Your soul is receiving downloads of information, insights, visions, or messages that you may not fully understand in the moment, but will begin to piece together over time. For some, these awakenings come with a sense of urgency, like a call to action. Others feel overwhelmed, as if the weight of something unseen is pressing down on them. The truth is, this shift is happening whether you are ready for it or not. The universe is moving, energy is rising, and the ones who are waking up at these specific hours are being given an opportunity, an invitation to align with something much greater than themselves. The challenge is that most people resist this. They feel the energy, but they don't know what to do with it. They try to fight it, to force themselves back to sleep, to ignore the pull. But the more you resist, the stronger the wake-ups become. The more you ignore them, the more they will disrupt your life. Because this energy is not meant to be ignored. It is meant to be understood, harnessed, and used. So what does this mean for you? It means you are not just a passive observer in this shift. You are part of it. Your role in this awakening is unique, and the fact that you are experiencing this now is proof that you are being called to something higher. But what is that calling? What are you meant to do with this awareness? That's the question that most people never ask. They focus on how frustrating these awakenings are instead of realizing that they are being prepared for something greater. The key to understanding these wake-ups is to stop resisting them and start paying attention. Instead of rolling over in frustration, ask yourself, what is the first thought that enters your mind when you wake up? What emotions do you feel? What dreams or visions do you remember? These are the clues that will guide you toward understanding what this energy is trying to show you. Because here's the truth, This isn't just about waking up at night. This is about waking up in your life. This is about stepping into a new level of awareness, one that most people never reach. And now that you know this, the real question is, how do you use it? How do you take this energy and turn it into something powerful instead of something disruptive? That's exactly what we'll explore next. Because while most people struggle against this shift, the ones who understand how to work with it, they unlock something incredible. The world sleeps, but you, your spirit, your energy, are awake, alert, sensing something beyond what most people can comprehend. You may have tried to dismiss it, convincing yourself it's just a coincidence. But deep down, you know better. This isn't just random wakefulness. It's a call, a responsibility. And if you're waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., you may be one of the watchmen. The concept of watchmen isn't new. Throughout history, there have always been those who were called to be awake while others rested. In ancient times, watchmen stood on city walls, protecting their people from unseen dangers. They saw the enemy before anyone else, sending warnings before an attack could take place. In the spiritual realm, watchmen serve a similar purpose. They are given insights before others see the truth. They are shown things in dreams, receive premonitions, and feel shifts in energy that others can't perceive. They carry the weight of knowledge, sensing changes before they unfold. If you've been waking up at these hours, it's likely because you are one of these spiritual protectors. Your spirit is being called to attention, not just for yourself, but for something bigger than you. And that can feel overwhelming. Maybe you've experienced dreams so vivid they felt real. Maybe you've sensed things about people or situations that later turn out to be true. Maybe you wake up feeling restless, as if you are carrying the weight of something you can't quite explain. This is what it means to be a watchman. Many who experience this calling resist it. They tell themselves it's just their mind playing tricks on them, that they need to sleep, that they don't have time for these things. But ignoring it doesn't make it go away. It only makes the energy stronger. You weren't meant to sleep through these hours. You were meant to be awake, aware, and receiving. The moment you stop fighting this and start listening, everything changes. But here's the part that most people don't realize. Being awake isn't enough. What matters is what you do with this awareness. It's not just about receiving messages. It's about understanding them, interpreting them, and knowing how to act on them. The watchmen of history didn't just see danger. They sounded the alarm. They prepared. They protected. And if you are one of them, you have a responsibility to do the same. But let's go deeper. Why now? Why are so many chosen ones waking up at these specific hours? Why are you feeling this stronger than ever before? Because the world is shifting. The energy around us is intensifying. You can sense it, even if you don't have the words to explain it. The old systems are breaking down. The illusions that once kept people asleep are dissolving. And as this happens, watchmen are being activated. Not everyone will hear the call. Not everyone will understand what's happening. But you do. And that's why you're waking up. And this is where things get challenging. Being a watchman isn't just about being awake. It's about carrying a responsibility that few will ever understand. It's feeling the weight of energy shifts before they manifest in the physical world. It's knowing things before they happen and having no logical way to explain it to others. It's sensing when something is wrong, even if everything looks fine on the surface. And most of all, it's knowing that you were chosen for this, whether you feel ready or not. So what can you do? The first step is to acknowledge this gift. Stop dismissing your awakenings as mere sleep issues. They are messages, warnings, calls to prepare. You need to start listening. Start writing down what you feel when you wake up. Pay attention to repeating signs, dreams, sensations. Strengthen your spiritual energy, because the more you resist, the more exhausted you will feel. Because here's the truth, you weren't meant to sleep through life. You were meant to wake up. And now, the question isn't whether you are a watchman, it's whether you are ready to embrace it. But knowing this isn't enough. What happens next depends entirely on how you choose to respond. Will you step into your power, or will you let exhaustion keep you from seeing the truth? Because once you fully understand how to channel this energy, everything changes. That's what we need to uncover next. Because knowing you're a watchman is one thing. Learning how to step into that role fully, that's where the real power begins. Now that you understand why you wake up at these hours, the real question is, what do you do with this knowledge? Awareness is just the first step. The next is mastering this energy, learning how to use these moments to your advantage, and shifting from restless awakenings to powerful spiritual alignment. Because the truth is, your sleepless nights are not a burden, they are an invitation. Every time you wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., you are being given a rare opportunity. This is not a time to fight against, but a time to embrace. You are awake for a reason. You are meant to receive. But most people never realize this. They dismiss their awakenings, turning over in frustration, trying desperately to force themselves back to sleep. And in doing so, they reject the very messages meant for them. That's why your first step is to shift your mindset. Instead of seeing these moments as interruptions, see them as a divine conversation. The universe is speaking. Are you willing to listen? One of the most powerful things you can do when you wake up is to observe. Before grabbing your phone or tossing in bed, take a breath and tune in. What do you feel? What thoughts immediately enter your mind? Is there an emotion, an image, a message trying to come through? Write it down. Keep a journal beside your bed and document everything: dreams, feelings, ideas. These moments are filled with insight, but if you don't capture them, they fade. Beyond observing, you must learn to engage. Use this time for meditation, prayer, or deep reflection. The energy between these hours is pure, undistracted, and powerful. If there is a question lingering in your heart, ask it. If you seek guidance, open yourself to receiving. Some of the greatest revelations come not in loud moments, but in the quiet hours before dawn. Your spirit is awake because it's ready to hear something most people will never be still enough to receive. But here's something most don't realize. Just as these hours can be a time of deep connection, they can also be a time of spiritual attack. If you wake up feeling anxious, overwhelmed, or even paralyzed, this isn't just your imagination. There are forces that do not want you to awaken. They do not want you to step into your calling, to access wisdom, to break free. They thrive on keeping you confused, distracted, and afraid. That's why protecting your energy before sleeping is just as important as what you do when you wake. Spiritual cleansing, protective prayers, setting intentions, these are not just rituals. They are shields. You must also be mindful of what you consume before bed. The energy you carry into sleep determines what meets you in the night. If you fill your mind with chaos, fear, and negativity, you will carry that energy into your wakefulness. But if you prepare yourself, treating sleep as a sacred transition rather than an escape, you shift everything. So what are you feeding your mind before bed? What energy are you bringing into these crucial hours? Your preparation matters. And finally, embrace your role. If you are waking up, it is because you are meant to be aware. You are meant to see what others don't. You are meant to receive before the world even realizes it's time to wake up. This is not something to run from. It is something to accept. Because once you do, the exhaustion disappears. The frustration fades. The energy shifts from something happening to you to something happening for you. You weren't meant to sleep through this. You weren't meant to ignore the signs, roll over, and pretend nothing is happening. You're waking up for a reason, because something inside you is ready. Ready to see, to understand, to step into something bigger than you ever imagined. But awareness is only the first step. What you do with this energy is what matters. You can resist it, fight against it, try to drown out, or you can embrace it, learn from it, and use it to become who you were meant to be. The choice is yours. But one thing is certain. Once you open your eyes to what's really happening, you can never go back. Are you ready to wake up for real? If this video has changed your spiritual journey and helped you connect with your universal strength, subscribe to the channel, leave a like below, and activate the notification bell so we can notify you when new content arrives. We also suggest watching the video indicated on the screen so you can continue your journey of spiritual growth and inner evolution of knowledge. Thank you for staying with us until the end, and see you in the next video.